Money boy, money boy, money boy. Trade. Money boy, money boy, money boy. Trade.
Private jet flights overseas, damn pieces coming by the lead. Piano witch playing with the keys. Waterfront chilling in Belize. Greenbacks, racks, blue cheese. Murder ain't came up in the street. Good dope, no price cheap. Pop pills, too high geek. Private jet flights overseas, damn pieces coming by the lead. Piano witch playing with the keys. Waterfront chilling in Belize. Greenbacks, racks, blue cheese. Murder ain't came up in the street. Good dope, no price cheap. Pop pills, too high. Counting hundreds with my amigos. Blue water, frozen sub-zero. Hit a lick, flip it twice, break bread with my people. Who knock and look out the people? Clutching my desert eagle. Cock, aim, squeeze, trigger, empty clip and reload. Pints, pills, 2 kilo. Bitches coming in trio. Shaking all ass, beat the pot like Migos. Last second shot and one. Free throws, no Master P, but I'm looking for the free code. Pints, pills, 2 kilos. Bitches coming in trio. Shaking all ass, beat the pot like Migos. Last second shot and one. Free throws, no Master P, but I'm looking for the free code. Private jet flights overseas, damn pieces coming by the lead. Piano witch playing with the keys. Waterfront chilling in Belize. Greenbacks, racks, blue cheese. Murder ain't came up in the street. Good dope, no price cheap. Pop pills, too high geek. Private jet flights overseas, damn pieces coming by the lead. Piano witch playing with the keys. Waterfront chilling in Belize. Greenbacks, racks, blue cheese. Murder ain't came up in the street. Good dope, no price cheap. Pop pills, too high geek. Too high geek. Top flow, nosebleed, C, 4A, 4AB. Push star, got no key. Money boy, Lou got said. Take a picture, paparazzi. Quay, lose, Bill Cosby. Rape a hoe, no, not me. Hashtag MB3. Primetime MBC. On lane, I do me. Dial on, I spit heat. Private jet flights overseas. Damn pieces coming by the lead. Piano witch playing with the keys. Waterfront chilling in Belize. Greenbacks, racks, blue cheese. Murder ain't came up in the street. Good dope, no price cheap. Pop pills, too high geek. Private jet flights overseas. Damn pieces coming by the three. Piano witch playing with the keys. Waterfront chilling in Belize. Greenbacks, racks, blue cheese. Murder ain't came up in the street. Good dope, no price cheap. Pop pills, too high geek.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Toxic Masculinity Show. I am your host, MoneyBoy Trey. And tonight we are here to ask, is Kwame Brown nothing more than a bully and or a hypocrite? And Mark Adams, in this live, I will tell you why he should stop. It's simply because he came out and said that all these guys in black media are attacking black men and tearing them down. And since he has become a member of this so-called black media with all these subs and shit, all he's done consistently is tear down black men. It's almost like this nigga is going back 8 and 10 years looking to see who said something about him just so that he could attack him. So we're going to talk about it. Hold on. Who is this backstage? Dr. Jefferson.
Oh, he made 2013.
How are you doing, Dr. Jefferson?
Hi. I'm doing good. Thanks for the invitation to the show.
I'm glad you're here because we're going to need you to help psychoanalyze this situation. Have you been keeping up with what's been going on with this gentleman?
Actually, I heard nothing about it before you brought it to my attention. I did look up and pull up some stats because when I went through my inbox and my messages and things like that, people had been sending forth requests and things for me to talk about this. However, this is a guy who is a basketball player, and I just don't get into basketball much. But what I do know is that he was overpaid for his career and his time in the league. And so I think that he is in a place where essentially, when people are disgruntled, when life isn't going the way that they want it to go, they take that out, on the people around them.
Why do you think that he is, I'm sorry, I muted you, hold on. Why do you think that he is, damn it, I did it again, big fingers. Why do you think that he is overpaid?
Well, so when you get signed to a team, essentially, there is an expectation. And when you don't meet that expectation, you get traded, right? So let's see what I have here. He entered the league in 2001. He played for the Washington Wizards from 2001 to 2005, right? Got traded to the Lakers, then to Memphis, then to Detroit Pistons. You understand? So the list goes on. So you've been traded a lot, and you haven't produced a lot. So essentially, that's what it's about.
Okay. Dr. Jefferson, could you please tell these good people to find you at? And y'all, we were supposed to do a interview today about mental health and sex because she was interested in my sex life about my baby mamas the other day. But I had this
I was
already planned, so we're going to.
totally not. However, my co-host had some questions about what your behaviors look like.
I'll blame it on
I
her.
was just going off of Susanna's cue.
Yeah, blame it on her. But we will try to bring that to y'all, if not tomorrow, one day this week.
Mm-hmm.
So could you let them know where to find you at and let them know what it is that you do?
So you guys can find my social media content with Life Discussions with Dr. Jefferson. I oversee that podcast and the video cast. Also, Love and Intimacy is a separate video cast that focuses on relational dealings between human beings and how they, connect on an intimate level with one another and that kind of stuff. I'm a psychotherapist. I'm here in Atlanta. Currently I'm in Myrtle Beach. I had a training to facilitate and then did a sabbatical and things like that. That was great. So yeah, my vacation ends tomorrow officially.
I'm going on mine Friday. That's why I said I got open availability until Thursday. Jack Spade, are you there?
Yes, sir. I am here. Good evening, everyone. How's
Good
everyone
evening,
doing
sir.
tonight?
Hi.
Can't complain. How about yourself? What are your thoughts on this conversation, Kwame Brown?
All right. So I'm kind of pressed for time. So if what I'm saying is scattered, I apologize. But number one, the gentleman played in NBA for 12 seasons. I mean, to me, that is an accomplishment. I mean, there's some great players. For whatever reason, they only stay in the league for a couple of years at best. Some of it is because of injury. Some of it is just because of, playing professional sports at that level. A lot of it is more mental than it is physical. And there's some guys, they have the skills. They just don't have the mental capacity to put it all together. And they're out the league within 2, 3, maybe 4 years. So Kwame made 12 years, which to me, as I said, is an accomplishment all in itself. Just making it into the NBA is an accomplishment. So that's one aspect that he should be proud of and stand on it, that he did survive 12 years. There was a former basketball player. This is number two. There was a former basketball player by the name of Junior Bridgman. He played in the NBA from, I believe, 75 to about 87. He was a first round draft, I believe, 8th, 9th, 10th round, somewhere in that ballpark range. His numbers were not great, but, he was in the league, I believe, also 12 to 14 years. But he retired, and then he went off, and he used his money and his influences to capitalize in fast food restaurants. I think at one time he was franchised through something like 400 franchises. So he made his money after his career, and I believe that is something that has to be looked into with Kwame. There was a gentleman that was on Joy's panel today by the name of Dennis, and he touched on it real quick. It's like, Kwame, what did you do after your career? Did you take the money that you had and got into franchising, or got into education, or got into such and such? It doesn't matter that you may not have had the greatest of career, but what did you do after basketball, after the NBA? And this is my last point. Now, he was involved in a situation with his financial advisor through Merrill Lynch. And I believe it was between 2010 and 2017. I believe this lady who was the financial advisor, she swindled $17 million out of his funds. he was smart with his money. He did put it to the side and was trying to be conservative with it, but this financial advisor did she did take I believe it was $17 million out of his account through Merrill Lynch. He has filed a lawsuit, but I don't know how much of that money he has recovered. And to me, instead of getting on social media trying to bring smoke to all these people, what he should be doing is bringing out what happens to a lot of these athletes, not the ones that blow their money on women and baby mamas and all this kind of stuff, but the dudes that, they really were trying to be smart with their money, but they got taken advantage of from their managers, their attorneys, their financial advisors, and bring more awareness to that to help the players that are coming up through the ranks, to let them know, hey, there's going to be another side to your money besides trying to be smart with it. And this is what happened to me. And this is what you need to be more focused on, and try your best to be more conscious about your money. Pay more attention to it. Take more time, checking the checks and balances to ensure that once your career is over, that you won't realize that somebody within your camp has taking money out of you. I mean, Kwame, I believe he made $65 million. But
64.
hell, 64? Did somebody say 64? Okay, $64 million gross. But somebody taking $17 million out, that is still a chunk of a damn money. Yes, somebody like Michael Jordan can, do well missing $17 million. But hell, $65 million gross subtracted by 17 million, that is a big chunk of money that is now going missing, that you may never ever recover.
Do you think he is becoming what he started out fighting just a week ago? Because me personally, it looks like the fame has gone to his head.
I believe so also. Maybe there are 1, 2, maybe 3 people in the media that he has legitimate reasons to call out, but I think now pretty much it has turned into the attention, and he's going after people that he has no business even dealing with, because the more you try to go after people, the more somebody's going to try to pull dirt up on you and make you look bad.
Well, I want to go on the record. I'm not against him going at anybody. I'm against him calling those people out, saying all they do is destroy black people, and him turning around and doing the same thing. I'm calling out him saying all you men were talking about my mama's son, but he got on live last night and called Roy Hibbert a hoe based off a clip from 8 years ago. Last week when this shit started, he was like, Skip Bayless, you gave me a pass. Big up, Stephen A. didn't do it. This same clip with Roy Hibbert in it, Skip Bayless was in it. Now all of a sudden last night, Skip Bayless is a vampire face motherfucker. And he said, and this is what made me be like, oh, Kwame, that's fucked up. He said, you're lucky you're old, or I would find your wife and give her some of my mama's seasoning. That is out of bounds. Why are you bringing this man's wife into it? This man's wife has never said anything to you or any other player, and you attacked her out of bounds.
That is true. I agree with that. But you do have a segment of content creators. I didn't say all. I said a segment. Their platform is basically,
you can say niggas. You can say niggas over here. It's okay.
No, I wasn't.
We know where it comes from.
No, I just said a segment. And it's more about clicks, subs, and donations, and Dr. Jefferson did touch on that a little bit about his career is over, and he's very sensitive about being called a bust, even though, like I said, the dude played 12 seasons.
Thank you. It sounds like
I think he played 12 seasons, but even a person who is not into basketball, and even though I'm not into basketball, like I know a lot about it. I have a lot of very talented sons. My oldest son is 6'7". So, you know, of course he's had his time and he's 31. So you got to think about the reality is he averaged at most
8.8,
Yeah.
8 and 8.
Look, the most for the one team for the 1 year was like 10 point something points. So when you put all of his stats together with those the years he averaged about 4 points a game, it does equate to about 8 points a game overall. So
average at best.
Right,
Yeah.
but the average basketball player is only in the league for 4 years, 4.5 years.
Yeah, but
He
even
made it
looking at his first 4 years, he still didn't do much.
right, but he made
Well,
it
to be
12.
fair, Jack Spade, to be fair, the NBA is one of those places. If you're tall, they will find a job for you because they have a saying that says you can't teach height.
Yeah.
So they'll find a spot for you. But I mean, I've never brought up his basketball accomplishments until I said he's average at best. But even average at best, he'll tear my ass up back then and still now.
Probably.
I couldn't go pro.
But if
He
you're
did.
trying to understand his behaviors, you got to understand where he is. And essentially his career is where he's mapped his life. And so when a person's life becomes something that they're not necessarily proud of, and they're going through these various stages of life, what's this guy, like 30?
39.
Okay, so when he's in his 30s and he's about to move into his 40s, right? That's midlife crisis. He's looking at life and trying to see what it yielded to him. He's had lots of opportunities to make more of his career, and he's had to find something else to do. So having to find something else to do, and then other people calling you a bust, it's just like, you know, it's old school, modern day bullying to the old school thing, right? So when a person hurts you, you want them to hurt as much as you hurt. So that's why he took the jabs at the person's wife. Doesn't mean that he know that person, right? It's just really about trying to get at a person the way that they feel is effective. So saying the things that they know will hurt that person or make them react or retaliate against them. So those are the things you kind of got to look at. And I think that in this particular situation, that's what it is. He's just a disgruntled person, you know.
But that also goes to his lack of maturity as a man that's rolling into his 40s, which is the reason why I brought up the gentleman, Junior Bridgman, because like I said, he too, you know, he was a first round draft, 8th round, I believe. His numbers were not impressive, but he got his 12,
Stop
14 years
unmuting
out of the way.
yourself, Mad, until you cut YouTube off. I'm sorry, Jack Spade.
Oh, no problem. He put in his 12, 13, 14 years, something like that, but then he took his life on and went into franchising. And, you know, the great thing about that is someone say, well, Junior, you was a bust in the NBA, but he can say, well, look, this is what I've done over the past 20, 25, 30 years after the NBA. I've employed Black people. I've done this for the community. I've done this for my family. That's what Junior Bridgen has that it seems though Kwame doesn't have. Not saying that Kwame needs to eclipse what he did, but it goes back to, like I said, what the gentleman on Joy's channel, Dennis, mentioned. What did you do after the NBA? If you're 40 some years old, or 30, late 30s, rolling into your 40s, still holding on what the hell happened or didn't happen to your
8
NBA
years
career,
removed.
What did you do? What are you doing now for yourself and your family at a minimum?
So, Dr. Jefferson, do you think he is using his newfound fame to inflict pain on all the people that disrespect what he took as disrespect during his career? Because he's making it seem like he is the only athlete that is talked about for being a quote unquote bust or not living up to their potential. And it's just not true. And it's also not true that they talked about him every single day for 20 years.
But he probably feels that way. So what goes on in a locker room or in a workplace with people, we don't necessarily know that, right? So it's possible that there were conversations, and it's possible that there were arguments between himself and other people. And so when you look at it, it's definitely possible that he's taking out his frustration and trying to identify other people with flawed behavior and trying to kind of put them on the map and be negative towards them, right? So that he can take the blame or the shame off of himself. I looked and I said that he's worth more now than he was then. He's worth like 6 million. His net worth is like 6 million or so now. And so you got to look at his platform. That's the reason he has a net worth of 6 million or so, because you got to think about his exit from the NBA. What was he, like 2 point something million? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. But whatever, that's a huge difference. And then like what I think is Jack, like he mentioned earlier, if you have somebody that's taking a large chunk of your money, and you have to ask questions, and I think a lot of people don't hold folks accountable. If he did not read his contractual agreements, if he did not read several different contractual agreements that had been presented before him, if he was distracted by this, that, or the other, and that thing messed with his money or his flow of money or earned income overall, then that's on him. That's not on anybody else. You can't hold anybody else accountable for his financial immaturity. I think you have to learn from your mistakes and not take life out on other people. But also to kind of go to what he's doing, I think it's just like what everybody else is doing right now when you talk about Kevin Samuels. First, he was focusing on trying to get the attention of men, right? One way. And then he found that negative publicity is probably the best publicity. So he started to degrade women, right, on his public platform.
I wouldn't say he degrades them.
He did.
That's bullshit.
Continue. It's not important. Continue.
That's bullshit.
It's not important. Continue. We're sorry.
Right. But it's not without a necessity. But that thing drew certain men in because the same level of hurt or same realizations that those men had, he had.
False narrative.
Now he can have that.
Wait a minute, Jack Spade. We're gonna let her finish that statement, and then we'll go back to Kevin Samuels because I'm interested in that as well.
Oh, I'm cool. I just muted my mic. That's all.
Yeah, but so then he could be the voice of those men who had been hurt by those women and needed to now hold those women accountable, right? So the same group of men that he tried to appeal to initially, now he had a new way to reach those same group of men. And so then when he got a lot of heat for that type of publicity, he switched it. He started holding men accountable more often on his show. This doesn't mean that he wasn't already consulting with men. He just tailored to what the new viewers, right, were looking for, equality and accountability. He started doing the same thing. So I think that this guy is doing the same thing. He sees that, okay, I've pointed out some females. I said some negative things about the female behavior that's toxic. And the reality is those behaviors are toxic. You got women out here having sex with men that are married, right? And then you want to put the blame on the men. The reality is you're responsible for your vagina. So at the end of the day, you don't have the right to be calling out these men. And like he said, right, trying to mess up their livelihood or their households. My only thing that was incongruent in his message that I saw is that he's talking about these are black men only. Just because it happened to be black men, right, that this person was dealing with, doesn't mean that these women are focusing on tearing down black men. If that were the case, we could say Monica Lewinsky is the opposite, right? She was focused on tearing down white men because she ousted what she and Bill Clinton was doing. So I feel like, he played to the card of the publicities. So a lot of people came his way, a lot of different followers, and they require a different thing. So now his focus had to shift off of the women and on to the men. And at the same time, he can also hold those men accountable for the pain that they have endured. That he's endured at their gossip. And so
I definitely feel like this is the most fame since he got drafted in 2001 he's experienced.
Yeah.
But since he got drafted, like after he got drafted, he was actually judged on his talent. He's been famous these 20 years, but he's always been Kwame Brown, the basketball player. Now he's known as Kwame Brown, the guy who's keeping it real and roasting people on social media. And he's grown at least 150,000 followers just on YouTube alone in the past week.
Right.
And he just can't stop going live. Joy Chit-Chat.
Before she jumps on, about to head on out, got to head to work. What's up, Joy? But everybody take care. Appreciate allowing me on the panel. Everybody have a good week. Be safe.
Thanks for
Wait,
stopping
Jack.
by. I'm gonna get her
Bye,
about Kevin
Jack.
Samuels for you, Jack.
See you
Even though
later
I
there,
don't like Kevin Samuels
Ninja.
anymore.
Talking about Joy. Jumping out of bushes. Take it easy.
All right, sir.
So, Joy, what do you think that what are your thoughts? Do you think Kwame Brown is being a bully and a hypocrite? Keep it real.
Excuse me. Hello to everybody on the panel. I was having some
Keep it.
audio.
Stop stalling, ma'am. Just answer the
I
question.
was saying hello.
Fuck all that. Answer the question.
Like I said, hello to everybody on the panel. I don't believe he's being a hypocrite.
Why not? Didn't he call out several of black men and say all they do is talk about black men and they mama son and ruin their name? And is that not what he's doing? That's the definition of hypocrisy.
So are you putting the microscope on hypocrites?
Yes, because I say we all do it. I admit that I'm one, but you know what? I admit it. I'm not gonna come out here acting like I'm holier than thou, like I'm not part of the same machine that he's talking
And
about.
that's not what
He's a part of it too.
Okay, but he had a mission.
But he's still, and his mission happens to be doing the same thing he's going at everybody about.
So wait,
He's doing the same exact thing.
I wanted to ask a question real quick, because if we talk about hypocrisy, that means that he would have to be condemning the things that these men are doing, and at the same time not acknowledging that these are also behaviors or characteristics that he possessed in that moment, that he's denying that he does these types of things. So is he a hypocrite, or is he a person that's not just,
well, he probably doesn't realize it yet. I would give him the benefit of the doubt and say he doesn't realize it yet. That's why when I first broached this subject, I said he's going to soon realize that he's guilty of the same thing that he's been accusing everybody else of.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't mean that he doesn't realize it yet. Because some people, so we talk about things as they come up in our lives, right? We address these topics and things like that, but it doesn't mean that we are not flawed in that same way. We're just reviewing the flaws of others in that moment. So now when he gets to the point where he's denying that these are characteristics that he possesses, then we can say he's a hypocrite. You can't say that until he says, okay, I'm not that guy.
Mm-hmm.
Got a point. But I'm going to apply that anyway because that's just what it is. He's not gonna have that public conversation and say, well, no, he's already came out and made it seem like he's the guy that don't have to do that.
But you haven't
talked
given
about
him
my
a
mama's
chance.
son and I was a kid.
But you
I have given him a chance and I've watched
It's
him.
been 5 days. It's been 5 days.
And it's been the same thing over and over again. And Roy Hibbert drew the line.
That's his prerogative.
That interview happened like 8 years ago. This nigga act like it happened yesterday. He is going back to find beefs to pick at people.
That's called trauma. So trauma, in the way we experience it as people, is just like it's yesterday. It's just like it's today.
He didn't know about it until yesterday. That video resurfaced, and all of a sudden he had to talk about it and disrespect dude, how he was saying everybody else disrespected him, calling him a hoe, and you soft ass nigga, and you knock-kneed ass nigga, I should have smacked you.
Well, because like I'm gonna say this is what I explained yesterday. Maybe it's today for us, but it's yesterday for him. I don't know what he went through. But with the trauma, that's exactly what it is, because we don't know what happened to him during the time that he was 17 or 17, 18, 19, 20, 30, whatever, however long he played on the NBA. We don't know what happened to him. So when he did see this interview come up, it probably triggered him to say, oh, yeah, I remember this dude when I was somewhere and he tried to talk shit to me. So we don't know what happened in between life. So I can't take that away from him.
You're lucky the good doctor is up here, or you know what I would accuse you of doing right now. You lucky. Savage Red, what say you about this?
Thank you.
Who is listening to us?
Well, I honestly don't think that we know all.
Oh, is that me? No, that
Yes,
ain't
it's
me.
you. Yes, it is.
Yeah,
Agent.
we don't know if there were politics when he was playing that stopped his career. We don't like. There's a
I
lot of
don't
things that we
care.
don't.
I'm not
Yeah, but
talking
again,
about his career. I'm talking about his actions now. I've never called him a bust. I've never called him slow or any of that. Because truth is, he's only one of a small few thousand of people that's ever got to play that game. So I can't call anybody. Anybody that hadn't made it has no business calling him a bust because they didn't make it. So what would they be? I'm talking about his statements of saying what the media does to tear down people, and he's doing it.
Not to interrupt Savage Red. Keep
My
him up
bad.
here because I'm gonna let him finish. But this is not what this live. If you're gonna have an open panel to discuss it, we don't just want to hear what you got to say about it. You got to allow other people to speak on how they think and what their opinion is.
No,
We
I
know
don't.
your opinion.
No, I
What
don't.
the hell you have? What the hell you got a line for?
To be nice.
Child.
Go ahead, Savage. I'm sorry. Are you there?
yeah,
He's
I'm here.
frozen.
So
Go ahead.
so you don't know. Like none of us know what the politics or any of the stuff that happened behind the scenes with the career. So maybe he's acting this way because there were obstacles that were put in his path to stop his career. And now that video is resurfacing and they're talking shit about his career and he knows how the business is, he's just he's putting it out there and telling people the truth about those people that are out there. Like there's a lot of celebrities that and people that go into organizations or sort markets and they work with these people, and then after they leave they see how fucked up the situation is, and they come back and they call out the fuckery. Like I don't really know a whole lot about the guy. I just been hearing about the shit he's been saying in the media and them talking shit about him in interviews and whatnot. But in a greater scheme of things, it doesn't matter. Like it's not that important
In the grand scheme of what?
in the grand scheme of life. Like him
Huh?
him being on Instagram or Facebook talking shit about people in the media really doesn't affect anything other than
Well, uh,
and talking shit.
sir, I'm offended because that is literally my job. I'm sitting here right now talking shit, and you just said what I'm doing is unimportant in the grand scheme of things. Damn it, man. Man, say
Well,
something.
essentially,
Sometimes
here's the thing. Like
sometimes
you're going to, everybody's going to review your actions, especially when you're in the limelight, you're a public figure, and you're moving around like this, right? And I say that about people that are on Facebook, even they're not public figures, but they're putting their information out there. So you got folks that's putting on Facebook and on Instagram, oh, this is my new boo, this is my new bae. Every single week, you got a new boo and a new bae, right? And everybody is watching that. You're giving people the opportunity and the right to talk about your things because now you made it public and it's for everybody to look at. So essentially, everybody who is watching him has the right to talk about him. Just like when he was getting drafted initially, everybody had the right to talk about him. I don't like it when people say it's not right to have conversations about people, but you think it's right to have the conversations when they're doing something good. That doesn't make
It's,
sense. Make it make sense for me.
who said
So
that?
well,
everybody has the
it's
right to review
biased.
his
Who
behavior.
said
Yeah,
that?
She's not saying you're saying it, but it happens, and people don't acknowledge it.
right.
People are if they like you, they can see no wrong in
Yeah,
what you do.
and it's
I
okay.
like Kwame Brown, but I'm actually able to say some of the shit he's doing is exactly what he's mad at everybody else for doing. It was Stephen A. Smith's job to write columns about him because he was a journalist and a
Right,
sports analyst.
but
That's how he made his living. That's what he went to college for.
he may be discussing what he may be addressing what this particular content triggered in him, and that thing may be something else that happened while he was, you know, enduring during his career, right, with other players in the locker room. That's why I talk about the locker room thing, because, you know, when I provided services for people that are in sports, there's a lot of drama behind the scenes. Okay. And that's really hard for a lot of people to live through. The anxiety, the depression, those for depressive episodes and things like that. Like that comes from them enduring. So not necessarily saying something about what's happening to them and you know, speaking on or navigating through and processing their traumas that they're incurring at the moment. So I think that we have to be realistic when we talk about, okay, so why is he doing this? It doesn't mean that he's saying, I'm not a person who talks negatively, who, you know what I mean, who does the things that I'm talking about. He's saying that, well, he's really in his message saying, I was traumatized by someone who
think
did
that too.
Right, and I'm speaking out. So that's the underlying message that's there.
And I think he's also enjoying being able to fight back with a whole bunch of people watching him. That's why I called it like a form of bullying and said, I know hurt people. And it feels good to have 20,000 people watching you live clown somebody. The same people that called you a bust, now you're able to get them back. And then when you go off, 100,000 people and watched you.
And agreeing. So the agreeing part is when it becomes something that is, you know, a little problematic. You know what I'm saying? So all these people are signing on with him. So it kind of beckons the question of how long has this behavior been going on, right? What's really there? Because what we know is that's the characteristics of people who possess narcissistic personality disorder. They need a whole bunch of people to kind of gravitate to and agree with them. You understand? So even though people innately possess a lot of narcissistic traits, doesn't make them, you know, a person who is struggling with narcissistic personality disorder. But when you start seeing those things, it's, you know, you're kind of curious about how long have you been this type of person. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what you mean, ma'am. Hello, how you doing? Money Boy, I am very shocked, man. I am very shocked at you right now, man.
I don't know why, sir. I am fair. I am fair. I still love Kwame Brown. I'm here for the fuck shit, but I'm just saying he act like he was holier than thou.
You are actually adding to them, dissing them. As far as
I'm not dissing him.
Man, hold on, let me talk. This is my first time on the mic, bro. First time on the mic. I'm here to podcast today. Got me drinking my tequila tonight, boy, after these comments here. But it's like this. This is now a grown man. They've been talking about him since he was a kid. Video after video after video, we can look up and see them insulting this guy. He never had nothing to say. But from what he's saying, and this is his words out of his mouth. His son was watching the Up in Smoke or whatever that All in Smoke show, and they insulted his pops. That's when he got offended. You know what I'm saying? Because now it's like his son got to sit here and look at his dad, which is supposed to be his role model, and they're sitting there trashing him. You know what I'm saying? On a lot of things, really, when you look back at his history, it ain't true. I can pull up games, highlights, and all kind of stuff of this dude taking LeBron on, ripping the ball, all kind of shit. He scored 23 on Cleveland and LeBron and them. You know what I'm saying? He scored 30 on Webber and them. But what I'm trying to say is we making definitions or we trying to give definitions of something that we're assuming what's wrong with him. I don't think none of these things that they were saying about him bothered him throughout the years. He looked like he's straight in the mind. What he's trying to do is stand up like a man in front of his son. You know what I'm saying? And showing him how to take care of situations.
While calling other men who may have kids hoes.
If you follow his videos, he broke this down, especially on the last video.
Man,
he called these people up. He called these people up first.
I ain't talking about them. I'm talking about Roy Hibbert. Roy Hibbert, the guy he called the hoe last night, because all the guy said was when he was a teen, he tried to dap Roy Hibbert. I mean, he tried to dap Kwame, and Kwame walked past him. And he said that helped motivate him to get to the league.
You already know how I rock.
That ain't a
Man,
diss. That's not a diss. He called that man a hoe for that.
Had no reason to goddamn speak on. Even
he
back
called
then,
that
he had
man
no
a
reason
hoe
to speak
for
on him
that.
back then. So now it resurfaced. Exactly. Yeah.
How come that was his motivation? You heard Kwame's motivation about walking barefooted and shit.
If you heard me say some shit in your back a couple of years later and shit, wouldn't I be a hoe for that?
Not if I'm running around talking about my son had to hear y'all talking about me and all of that again. As long as he is not being holier than thou, he cool. I'm the same guy. I don't act holier than thou. I'm the same guy that says I'm a recovering nigga. I do nigga shit. I enjoy it. I don't act like I'm holier than thou. I say I'm a hypocrite. I just said I'm a narcissist. I just say I'm open for criticism. I admit this shit because I know I'm in the entertainment game.
But once again, I'm sorry, Matt, to interrupt you and MoneyBoy. You're doing something to my soul.
I'm here to pod too.
Yeah, you're doing something to my soul because you got to understand, it's been 5 days.
I hear feelings. So what? So what?
You childish. First of all, if we were on Minds, I would do the same drop for you because you're emotional right now, sir.
You're insane.
You're not giving this man a chance to even express himself. It's been 5 days.
I'm trying to get him back on track before niggas with a bigger platform can do the same thing that I'm doing. I'm just a nigga with 750 subs. Imagine if Charlemagne and them do this on their shit. Imagine if Skip Bayless, we can hear you, partner. Imagine if Skip Bayless do this on his show tomorrow with 10 million people watching, and then the podcast come up.
Where's the drop at? So what?
But Troy,
I would dare him to do it. I would dare him to do it.
Yes.
It's been 5 days, but in those 5 days, he's gone live like 5 times a day, doing 2 or 1 to 2 hours a shot. He's been talking a lot in the past 5 days.
Straight up roasting niggas.
Did anybody hear his message?
He needs to tone it down.
Anybody hear his message today where he's trying to uplift these young men?
And did you see how?
I mean, give him the benefit of the doubt to put.
But did you see? But man, I saw that I was there live. But did you notice?
Are we talking that shit he talking? We don't need to stand in his way. If we're not talking the same thing or representing what he's saying, then we need to step out the way. He in control of this shit.
I think y'all are not hearing me when I'm saying I'm here for the fuck shit. I'm just pointing out he started off acting holier than thou. And I saw the video this morning. We was talking about being a man. I was there live, but I also noticed he went from 21,000 people watching to 8,000 people this morning. So niggas are literally tuning in to watch him do some fuck shit. And that's not good.
Yeah, that's a problem.
I mean, no, it ain't. I mean, still the message is going to get out to 8,000. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he has to balance it out. He has to be able to do both.
To balance it out. How come we ain't holding none of these other whole niggas to these kind of levels and shit?
I do. I'm laughing at those guys
all
too.
Of a sudden now
keep in mind the way to hold people accountable.
Got a bunch of whole niggas out here in the industry fucking us over.
Yeah, but the way to hold people accountable is by doing the thing that we say they should do, right? We have to lead by actions, not just by roasting them.
I don't hold them accountable because I look at them motherfuckers as entertainers, just like I'm an entertainer. I don't hold them as leaders. I know those guys are doing their fucking job, and that's what I'm doing. I'm here to pod. It's my job. I love him. I ain't saying he's wrong. I'm just telling him he looks real hypocritical, and he looks like he's just he's wielding his power as a bully. If y'all know who Roy Hibbert is, Roy Hibbert is a fucking gentle giant. He ain't never said a bad word to nobody. He called this man a hoe. This man didn't cuss him out. He didn't call him a bust. He didn't call him slow. He just said, when I was a teen, I tried to dap Kwame Brown and he walked past me. That was 8 years ago in an interview, and he called this man a hoe.
So it's not a new.
His son had. No, it's not a new interview. He went to find some shit to be mad at, and Roy Hibbert's son and daughter and mama and dad have to hear him being called a hoe and saying, "I should have smacked your son."
Realize,
yeah, that's wrong.
Wow, that's wrong, y'all.
It is wrong because here's the thing: isn't that what he did? He came out of the woodwork because people were talking about him many years after he retired. He's doing the exact same thing to Roy Hibbert. Roy Hibbert said nothing to him or about him in 8 years.
You guys don't know what nobody's been through. You guys are making your own assumptions. Like he's been chilling.
Not what they've been through. It's not the fact that he hasn't said anything.
It's becoming on deaf ears in a minute because y'all crying up here.
We know Roy Hibbert. We know Roy Hibbert hasn't said anything about him recently.
Is he at your house right now? Where he at?
Publicly?
Have you seen a video?
Is he at your house?
So this is what we're
publicly.
Is he at your house?
That's private. That's private. Talking about publicly. Has he said anything?
It don't matter.
I hear feelings. So what? So what?
So what, Joy?
I think what she's trying to say is that, we're having this discussion after he's made these comments, and they're definitely something different than what his typical behavior is, right? And you're saying you're still a big supporter of the guy, right? Mm-hmm. And so the thing is, because you like this guy and you're talking about it, it says that there is something that is off kilter about the content. And so I think what she's saying is nobody knows what has really happened behind the scenes to make this type of behavior present. Because it looks sort of like a manic episode. And that's what happens to people when they're manic. And they can be triggered by all sorts of things. Their behaviors become very goal-directed, and it don't look like what they normally do.
Like fame and sudden attention? Like fame and sudden attention?
Yeah, it could look like that. It could look like driving across country, not knowing exactly why you're driving across country, but you're doing it anyway.
So you think he's acting manic? Is that a manic episode?
It is. He has a series of days where his behaviors are out or incongruent with his normal things that he normally do. I've had people that are manic for 2-3 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
But their normal behavior is this. And you've seen these behavior patterns for years. And then all of a sudden they become this person that's ranting and raving and going for this person, going for that person. And now they're the voice of reason, the voice of get everybody right, regardless of what they're doing in their life or, inhabiting those same types of behavior patterns and things like that. They're still going to go for and call these people out. He's called out a series of people in Alaska. I think people got to look at the larger picture. If this isn't what this guy has been doing for all the years that the public has known him.
So here's my question to you. How do you think he should behave with this newfound fame and the attention on him and the audience that he has? What do you think he should do?
I don't think it's up to any of us to determine that.
Right. So he can't, it's not like his newfound fame is something that didn't happen gradually. It's not like overnight he became a person with this many followers.
Yeah, he did.
In this field, broadcasting, it's newfound fame. 7 days,
he went from 1.4 thousand followers to over 100, and I think he was at 144 last.
And what I keep explaining to
overnight.
It was overnight. And what I keep explaining to them is that this YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, all of these people have social media managers. He doesn't have one at this.
So is that the solution? Do you think he should have
170,000?
Which I'm not mad at what he's doing, but he doesn't have a manager at this moment.
I'm not mad.
So it's just like he's talking a lot of what we call shit, but at one point he does step back the same way he stepped back with the Charlemagne thing situation. I heard somebody in his background telling him exactly, don't say it like this, say it like that. So he's starting to learn.
That's after he got a cease and desist.
Why
didn't they tell him that
at first? He's starting to figure it out now, and it's only been 5 days.
So you're saying let him be. You'll figure it out.
Doctor up here, because you know what I would have said.
it's like this. He said it earlier today. You know what I'm saying? We forgot how to be men. For us to even be sitting here talking about goddamn how he should
Sir, it's
defend
my
himself, man,
job.
that's some
It's
weak
my
ass shit.
job.
Yeah, I mean,
It's my
I
job.
mean,
Just
for
like
real.
he talked about people. He talked about people. I'm talking about people. I talked about Charlemagne shit just like him. I talked about Derek
I'm
Fisher
trying to
whooping.
I'm trying to
I
give brother
laughed at
as much
Matt
support as he
Barnes.
needs. You know what I'm saying? I'm in the back seat throwing him extra clips
I'm
if he needs. You
supporting
know what I'm
him.
saying?
I'm just saying he can go ahead. He can go ahead and get people from saying he's a hypocrite and all of that by just not saying that shit no more. Stop pointing out they tear down black men. That's all they do is tear down black men
no.
while tearing
No,
down
they
black
do.
men. Man, it's simple though. I'm saying just stop pointing out that that's what they do if that's what you're going to do. You can't say they tear down black men while tearing down black men. That's crazy. That's all I'm
Which part?
saying. I'm here for
I
the
mean,
fuck shit. I'm enjoying it.
But
Go at
why are
Charlemagne
you?
and them.
But why are you putting the light on him? Why are you putting the microscope on
Because he's
him?
what's popping right now. Just like when Kevin Samuels was popping and he said, "I'm country bougie." I spotlighted him. I get
But you're
everybody,
telling him
man.
how to. But you're telling
I
him how to
get
control. You're telling him
I'm
how to
not.
run his platform.
I'm not telling him how. I'm just critiquing the shit that
But
he
you
said,
run
man.
your.
He's
Where you
potting.
Man,
at? You run. Yeah, exactly.
I'm here to
He's
You're
pod,
potting.
and
You're
I'm
here to
just
pod.
critiquing what has come out this man's mouth. I ain't making this shit up. He said it. I'm critiquing it.
Speaking
you
of
have to
potting,
stop though.
Why? I'm still
May I say
Team
something?
Kwame.
Hartman
Hey,
said something.
your Wi-Fi working. Stop before hers goes out. Go ahead.
Oh, I didn't even know she was good.
May I?
go ahead.
Go ahead. There go to Wi-Fi. The
Good,
Most High has struck
good evening,
again.
everybody.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hey, Genesis.
Can you hear
Yep.
me?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes. Keep talking.
Can
Yes.
okay,
Keep
good evening,
talking.
everybody.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm just great. I just want to get my point out before my Wi-Fi goes out. And I'd like to speak to the doctor in regards to a couple of things that she said. Good evening, doctor. With all due respect, you said that the man was overpaid. No, first you said you don't follow the NBA, you don't follow basketball, and then you said that the man was overpaid. That to me is a statement that how are you qualified to even make a statement like that? You know nothing about basketball, with all due respect. The second thing that you said was that Kevin Samuels degrades women. I totally disagree with that point. The third thing that you said, which really just threw me for a loop, you called this man a narcissist and he's manic, and you have not even sat down and had 5 minutes with Mr. Kwame Brown to make a diagnosis like that. Come on, doctor, be responsible. Isn't there something in the Hippocratic oath, that says first do no harm? You have not spent 5 minutes with this man, but yet you feel the need to self-analyze him?
She can give an opinion just like he gives opinion saying these guys haven't had men in their lives and dads in their lives and stuff. It's just an opinion based off the information that she's seen.
Right, and I didn't give any official diagnosis. And what I said is that narcissistic personality characteristics are in everybody. But you have to know, and you're curious about how long the behaviors have been there in order to kind of go down that rabbit hole. That's what I said. So maybe you were partially listening, but people do that. Second thing is, I mentioned Kevin Samuels because a lot of people, and I think those who were listening to the entire spiel, a lot of people will play to what's popular. I mean, they're content creators. So when you become a content creator, you play to the strings or what your new following looks like. And so for Kevin Samuels, he was going after and targeting, when he very first came out, he was going after and targeting a select group of men. He didn't get a response. He didn't get those men's attention. They weren't following him. And these are things that were not.
That's not entirely true.
He mentioned that during his interview with Tasha K. And so he moved out of that and he played to what he was strong on. And so what he plays on his platform is what is going to gravitate the most followers, because that's what you do to make money, to increase your following. And at the end of the day, it has no reflection on him. So the realities are this: degrading women, right? Or degrading a person means that you're telling a person that their value, in your opinion, is greater than their own value for themselves or their own worth for themselves. Let me make that very clear. So Kevin Samuels isn't saying, oh, based on my algorithm or the way I see you as a 8, a 7, a 6. And therefore you can believe that you are a 9, a 10, etc. But this is how I see you. That's the difference in the two. That's the first thing. And as a person who has listened to several of Kevin Samuels' videos, because I've been asked to do some of the reviews on him, I'm pretty well versed on the things that he talks about. So just because a person is harsh in their delivery doesn't mean that they are without validity in their message. So that's what I said in my spiel, if you were listening, but obviously you weren't, you were part listening. But the other piece is, what I said is, I am not a fan of basketball. However, I have children that have played basketball, and that's not just one, that's 4 sons. So just because I'm not a fan of basketball and I don't follow it, I follow the NFL faithfully. And so for me, that's what I'm interested in. So just because I'm not engaged or interested in basketball players doesn't mean I don't have the information or the knowledge. Apparently, I came with the stats, sweetie. So apparently, I knew enough to talk about that piece. But my point was that he had a failing career, because we're not here to talk about his career. We're here to talk about the things that motivates the types of behaviors where he's coming after people that he's saying have insulted him at previous intervals or previous engagements and things like that. And we're trying to identify what may have triggered him to go on this rant versus what he was doing previously.
Yeah, but do you think when he first responded, his intentions at that point are different than his intentions after he got the newfound fame and people were gassing him up? Because to me, from what I'm seeing, clearly his intentions that he had in mind to defend himself initially is not the same thing that he's doing now. To me, it seems like he's running on the fame, he's running on the clout, and he's just pushing it forward and recycling stuff. That's why I get from it.
I agree, and that's why I said,
man, you can't bring that in, man. Now that he has,
because people who have narcissistic traits, even though people look at that and they're like, "Oh, a narcissist is a terrible person," and these types of things. Just because they have toxic behavior doesn't mean they are without flaws on the inside that they are not aware of or are aware of, because we never know whether or not they can see where they're hurting. So narcissistic characteristics come from people who are hurt, trying to fix that by doing things that typically are toxic. And so that's the point in mentioning that. And just because you have narcissistic traits or characteristics doesn't make you a good fit for the diagnosis. There are personality disorders.
So, Doctor, what I want to say is this: when I look at Kevin Samuels and what he's done as far as his progression from directing his message towards men and then moving on to directing his message towards women, there's angles to it, there's levels to it.
Yeah,
what he's trying to do, exactly. But what he's trying to do, he's trying to create other avenues. He's trying to get into a talk show, trying to get a TV deal. So he has a method and a progression. Yeah. When I look at Kwame Brown, so far in the 5 days, I'm not seeing a progression yet. I'm hoping he does something with his newfound fame. He's actually going to create either a podcast or find some type of schedule where he could come out and talk about certain things now that he has people's ear. So I'm looking for that progression for him. Right. So I'm waiting for that to occur, because if he doesn't have a progression and he's not looking to catapult on or capitalize rather on what's happening now, then he's going to get lost. Eventually, people are not going to follow him anymore. Because it becomes old.
That happens. That's why I said, though, so what a manic episode is goal-directed behavior, and it stops and you go back to what your personality typically looks like every single day. So it may not bother him if people stop following him, because now he's got all that energy out. because it's been an outlet for him. So some people need people to listen and give them support, to give them encouragement to be in the space that they are in, and then to move into a space of healing thereafter after they've expressed themselves. So I think it's levels to understanding where he may be now. And what is, I think the important thing is identifying what in the message initially where he started all of this triggered him to go down this rabbit hole. You understand what I'm saying? Because something put him back in a place where he had an experience that wasn't obviously a good experience.
So you think it's a cry for help then?
Not necessarily a cry for help, but a venting session, because that's what it is. You're venting. You don't necessarily need the help of other people, but you need the support. So you need them to be there. So just a listening.
You need the audience. You need the
there
audience.
you go. Right.
Okay.
So it's the same reason a lot of people go to therapy. They just really want to get it out. And then it just so happens that in getting it out, now I'm learning that I feel better. So how can I maintain this behavior in my regular life, in my interactions with people?
Well, a lot of people use YouTube for that purpose.
Yeah.
I got two things. I don't think Kevin Samuels degrades women. So I guess I'm the third person that disagrees with you on that one. And pardon my presence, I don't care if he progresses or not.
Pardon my parole.
I don't care if he progresses. Again, I'm enjoying the entertainment. I just want him to be aware that the very same thing that he said that he was fighting against, he has now become. That's all I'm saying. If he continues to go after them,
Derek Jackson did the same thing.
Now Derek Jackson, he messed women's mind up and said everything was the man's fault.
He did for money too.
And then when he cheated, he could just say, "I went to Jesus and everything's all right."
Grabbed his wife's hand hard as fuck.
He did the same thing.
It wasn't his fault. It was the devil's fault. It's typically the man's fault, but when it happened to him, it was the devil's fault.
Yeah. I don't know. And he still has a following. So I think that's what I'm saying. People play to what's popular, and it's popular for these people, because I think negative publicity gets the attention of people in general. So if you're talking about, negative things and you're hostile in your approach and stuff,
controversy sells.
Yeah, it's going to bring people on to listen, because people are always here for the drama. People are never here to actually level themselves and actually get to a better place of functioning. That's not what people do.
But will they stay?
No, they probably won't. But he probably won't care because he's gotten it out already. So
Genesis, you mad? Genesis. Your Wi-Fi messed up?
No, I'm not mad. I just don't want to interrupt and jump in.
No,
I'm Canadian. I'm Jamaican Canadian. Remember, we're very polite here. But I wanted to just be clear with the doctor. First of all, my name isn't Sweetie. It's Genesis. Hold on. You told me. You just said don't talk over me. Don't talk over me. Can I finish? I'm having my Kanye moment.
Go ahead.
I'm having my Kanye moment.
Oh God.
Bad gal.
Respectfully, doctor, my name isn't Sweetie. It's Genesis. And second of all, I was listening. So if we are going to have a.
So what? So what?
Now that we've all had a laugh, can you take some of the aggression out your voice? We're friendly up here, ma'am. I'm Team Kwame just as good as well as anyone, and I'm up here criticizing her, and you haven't given me the same vitriol.
I am the.
You haven't given me the same vitriol as her, and I said all of the stuff.
But MoneyBoy,
Look at the message.
Please let her finish, though.
I know. I'm trying.
Can you let her finish?
Yes, but I'm trying to ease some of the aggression that's in her. Everybody up here can tell that there's some aggression going on.
Hold on. Can you guys read the message?
Yes, I can.
Put up the last message.
What did it say?
You haven't heard nothing yet.
Savage, your camera hasn't connected, so it won't let you come on.
Is that the last one? No,
I don't know.
The one I wrote.
Hold
I
on,
don't
hold
see
on.
it yet. Did you put it in the private chat?
No, I put it in the public one.
I don't see it yet. My phone might be behind. Go ahead, Genesis. Go ahead. Had to Kevin Samuels, you modern woman. To take some of that aggression out your voice.
Okay, can I finish my point?
Yes.
Can I finish my point?
Yes.
There is
Go
no
ahead.
aggression in my voice. There is no aggression whatsoever in my voice. You were talking, oh, here we go. You were talking over, oh, here we go. You were talking over me. If you would just pay attention, I sat on the panel and I said nothing. I waited until there was a moment and a lag in the conversation for me to jump in. I even said, may I speak? So where is this aggression coming from? I was only addressing how the doctor responded to me. She called me sweetie, and she also said if I was listening, and evidently you were not. Those were the 2 points I wanted to address, and I said respectfully. So there was no aggression whatsoever.
That sounds a bit catty, though. You know, sweetie is just a form. Yeah, sweetie is a form of expression. It's not disrespectful. And if you were listening,
I don't know her and she doesn't know me. I don't know her and she doesn't know me. I said doctor. My name is visible there. My name is visible there. Anyway, listen, let's not make this all about me. Let's get back to Mr. Brown, shall we?
Thank you, ma'am. Go ahead. I'm listening.
I'm waiting to rebuttal. I'm waiting to rebuttal.
Well, so do you think that do you think that Kwame Brown is bullying, or what do you think about anything that's been said other than what the doctor said, ma'am?
Okay. I don't think that he's bullying. I don't think that he's being a hypocrite. I think my personal opinion, the man has had all of this pent up frustration, anger, disappointment, whatever you want to call it. And he's not always going to get it right. Nobody is perfect. He's not always going to get it right. Of course, he's going to have a couple of missteps here and there. But I've noticed that every single time he said something out of line, he said something, that could be misconstrued as something other than what he meant. He has always come back and said, listen, this is what I said. This is what I meant. And I apologize. He's always done that. He has always done that. And another thing, too, he also said, if everybody's going to be streaming his videos, at least have the respect, give him the respect to at least put his Bust Life Foundation in the tag. At least that. Mm-hmm. And he's not, and all people are talking about how he's clout chasing and he's this and he's that and he's doing all of that. He's not doing he's not clout chasing. He didn't even know what it meant. You have to ask his son what
I'm clout chasing. I'm just pointing out I'm clout chasing right now by using his name. I'm not gonna deny it. That's what I'm doing. He's the hot story right now. But I'm serious. He's the hot story right now, so I'm talking about it.
What does his foundation do?
Yeah.
Just like I talked about Charlemagne's charges, and we discussed that. Like I talk about everybody. This is kind of the job, and I still say I support him. But again, nobody's perfect, and that's what we do. He's criticizing Stephen A. Smith and them. They're not perfect.
But he had every right to
and they had every right to do their job and to go after him. That's all I'm saying. It's an even swap. That's what this shit is. It's entertainment.
Pardon my presence. You asked about what his foundation does.
Yeah,
I know that he's building low-income housing for families. He's also getting programs together in his area where he lives. So he's not just up here trying to get 100,000 subscribers in 5 days and all of that, and all the super chats, all the cash apps, all the PayPals, all the donations is going straight towards his foundation to help him with his movement. That's exactly what he's doing with that money.
I support that 100%. I hope he makes that more of a focal point. I didn't know about it. I knew he had a foundation, but I didn't know what it did. But I would hope that he makes that front and center.
I understand what you're saying, but again, the man has been silent for 20 years. He's done 22 videos, and it seems like the whole entire manosphere or YouTube streets, they're like, they're just like vilifying this man. He's been silent for 20 years. Of course he's going to be in his feelings. And no, I'm not being aggressive, Money. I'm just passionate because I'm Team Kwame all the way. Of course he's going to be in his feelings, and he's not always going to get it right. But it's like everybody's just nitpicking at every single thing that this man does. He's been quiet for 20 years. He didn't go out and ruin his life and do all kinds of nonsense. These are words. These are words. He's been 20 years. It's been pent up. Give him a break. It's been a week. He hasn't been on a rant for a month, for 3 months, even 10 days. It's been 7 days.
And nobody got shot.
And everyone is analyzing him and picking at every little thing that he says. Nobody is perfect. The man is human. He is human. He's finally had a chance. He's finally had a chance to rip the Band-Aid off that wound, and now he's emotionally bleeding. He's emotionally bleeding. Hold on. Just let me get this out, please, because I don't want my Wi-Fi to kick me off, because my Wi-Fi is crazy. What has he done that is so terrible, other than maybe have a few missteps in his dialogue? That's all he's done. But he's a manic depressive, he's cloud chasing, he's this, he's that, he's whatever. He's a hot button ticket right now. He's got lightning in a bottle. And you know what? If he has to have a few missteps to get his message across, then so be it. Like Mad said, nobody died. Nobody died. We're expecting this man to be God Almighty. And if he says one thing wrong, oh my God, now he's Lucifer. Now he's Lucifer.
I agree with that. I just think that the more he talks, the more he does just loose conversations or loose rants, he's going to put himself in a position where he's going to say things that's going to get him in trouble. I think. Well, again, with what he said with was it the Breakfast Club and everything he said there as far as the legal case, so he has to be careful in how he speaks. I think he should try to tone it into some type of concise message, 20 minutes, and maybe have a podcast and do it that way. And then, of course, put your.
And I also think she needs to get a publicist, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand where he's coming from, but a lot of stuff that he says, people is gonna misinterpret it for him being like arrogant and aggressive and stuff like that. You know what I mean? And as a black man in the spotlight, you're not allowed to
speak freely.
Yeah, speak freely. So he's definitely under a microscope. You know what I mean?
And he could use this moment to make sure that his foundation is front and center, right? Because again, at the end of the day, your 15 minutes of fame can only last for so long. The question is, what are you going to do in that 15 minutes time that you have?
Again,
I mean, hopefully he'll be smart enough to promote his foundation. You know what I mean? Because
everybody. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Everybody has all the answers. Everybody has all the answers. He should do this. He should do that. First of all, he's not a media savvy person. I've been following him for a year. He rarely even posts anything. And the first video thing that he did, he wasn't even sure how to use a StreamYard. Again, the man is emotionally bleeding right now. It's only been 7 days. It's only been 7. I can't even stress that enough. He needs to get a publicist. He needs to get a podcast. He needs to put this in the forefront. He needs to put that in the forefront. Again, if this was a month, if this was 30 days in and he was still ranting and raving and going on and there was no focus, there was no vision, there was nothing, then I would say, yeah, okay, well, let's, rein it in a little bit. It's been 7 days. 7.
Okay, so if you say that, what do you think he should do? Because you have a timeline of 30 days. So what do you think he should do in those 30 days? If you were to give him advice.
If I were to give him advice, which I'm not going to do, because in one of his videos, he said that we should stay out of it. It's between him and the men.
Hypothetically speaking.
Okay, but hypothetically speaking, I would give him until the end of this week. Until the end of this week, for him to really sit down and say, okay, you know what? Maybe the focus is a little bit off. Maybe my direction went left instead of right. Okay, now that I have the ear of the world, I've jumped from 1.2K followers to 100, and the last time I checked, it was 167K right now. That's a lot of people. And okay, there's going to be a percentage of people that are just going to be there for the rah-rah this and the rah-rah that, of course. Right? And they're going to be there, battling in the comments and whatnot. Okay. But I have confidence in the man that he has a focus. He knows what he's doing. He's not an idiot. He's not an idiot. He's done so much outside of this basketball thing before he even talked about all the feelings that he was going through. He's done so much outside of that. So I mean, I can see that he has a clear vision. But again, he's in his feelings right now. He's human. He doesn't have ice water in his veins. It's blood. And I'm pretty sure that if I was beaten down for so long, I would have a moment. I'm having a moment right now.
I guess the
I would have a moment. I just think.
I guess the $1 million question is why is it okay for him to have a moment, but everyone else not have a moment?
Yeah, I'm curious about that too, and I'm really curious because I'm the person that doesn't know anything about basketball or this guy.
Oh, come on, Dr. Jefferson! I thought we stopped the caddy stuff. I thought we stopped the caddy stuff.
I have a question. Wait for it. So I don't know a lot about basketball and all of that, but a person that was in the league, I think the guy that got off, he mentioned that was a long time for a person to be in the league, and he played in the league for like 12 years or so. So given the fact that he was in the limelight for that length of time and on multiple contracts and made lots of money on those multiple contracts, I'm curious as to whether or not he had conversations with publicists, like one of these young men just mentioned earlier. He said, what advice would you give him, right? And so I'm curious whether or not he's had the advice of a publicist, right, or a PR personnel that says, hey, you need to say these types of things, those types of things, not address these types of things. So I'm just curious as to what that insight looks like for a person that's been in a basketball league where you got millions of people following it all over the world and not just in the United States. So I'm just curious about that.
With all due respect, Doctor, he just got 167,000 followers by the end of this week. Okay, and he doesn't have a publicist. He's doing. Hold on, I did not interrupt you.
Right, but we're talking. That's not my question. So my question is about him being exposed to millions of people watching him on the basketball court for 12 years, and what that looks like on the inside, where he's now being advised by obviously PR personnel before he's able to go on an interview or talk to a person afterwards that's their news sportscaster, whatever. So those conversations, how well that's informed his understanding of what media and people watching and how that impacts you, what that means for him. I don't know. That's my question, not about YouTube.
Doctor, I'm not going to disrespect MoneyBoy's platform by answering you because you seem to really want to have a back and forth with me, and I'm not going to do that.
Speak your speech. It's fair that y'all are just gonna keep going for it. So just go ahead.
Yeah,
I'm silent. Go ahead.
Yeah, speak it and answer my question while you're speaking it, because I'm actually curious.
No.
Okay, well, don't. Somebody,
Genesis, come on.
Have any insight or knowledge about that piece?
What are you eating?
Well, if you would shut up and let me finish my thought.
You just said you weren't going to answer it, so I'm deferring to someone else. So, like I just said, does anybody else have anything?
Oh my God! Okay, you know what, lady. I don't want a viral moment with you. I do not want a viral moment.
Too late.
Have your 5 minutes.
I don't want a viral moment with you.
Go ahead.
Apparently, that's what you're looking for. And I'm not going to give it to you.
Go right ahead, but answer the question while you're doing it. So, Does anybody else have anything to add? Somebody that watches basketball and knows about what the process looks like behind the screens as far as how they prep, when they prep, etc.
I don't know about that, but I just want to reiterate, I'm not saying Kwame Brown is wrong. I'm not saying I disagree with what he's saying. I'm just pointing out the man is doing exactly what he accused everybody's name that he's called of doing. That's it. And I don't understand why we acting like this nigga is God because we like him. I'm the only one up here saying I like him, but some of the shit he doing fucked up, like saying he would fuck Skip Bayless's wife, and that woman said nothing to him.
Right.
And I fuck with Kwame Brown.
He said that for real, eh?
Like, this is a bit perplexing. Like, we can't question this nigga.
Hey, let me interrupt right there, man. The game ain't fair, man. The game ain't.
That's all I'm doing. I question everybody. Like, this is not anything new. And again, every time I've done a show, I've preferenced it with Kwame Brown. I love you. I even said I'm clout chasing right now. But I'm asking a legitimate. Well, I'm not even asking a question. Well, I asked the question: is he bullying and is he a hypocrite? Everybody has an opinion on that. But my main goal is to point out that if he says Charlemagne and Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson and Stephen A. Smith and Mike Wilbon and all of these people use their platforms to tear down black men, he's using his platform to do the same thing. And now he doesn't have a small platform anymore. He has a huge platform, and he's tearing down black men every time he goes live. He doesn't have to, but that's what he's choosing to do.
That's
all I'm pointing out.
If he targets another person that has nothing to do with any of the back talk that he's received, what will people say then?
Because Shannon Sharp did nothing to him. His beef with Shannon Sharp was, you talked about Kevin Durant mama, and I ain't like it.
Yeah, that's
and
that's
Shannon Sharp defended him.
Yeah.
Why we got crickets? So
as I said before, it's not as if he hasn't had any missteps.
Hold up, man.
He has had missteps.
Go ahead, Genesis. I was telling man to hold up.
As I said before, he has had missteps. Oh, can you hear me?
Yep. Yeah, you're good. Go.
As I said before, he has. As I said before, he has. As I said before, he has had missteps. He has. He hasn't said everything perfect. He hasn't done everything perfect. He hasn't. I agree with that part. That part I definitely agree with. And as I said before, every time he's said something out of pocket, he's said something that's a little bit left, he's always come back and apologized for it and cleared it up.
Do you agree that he is tearing down black men every time he goes live?
I don't agree that he's tearing down black men every time he goes live. I don't agree with that. That I don't agree with.
Put a percentage on it then, Miss Semantics.
I don't know the percentage.
And
even the terminology and even the terminology
like
tearing down black men. I don't know.
Can I ask a question?
Even some of the terminology tearing down.
Can I ask a question?
Well, I'm using the terminology that he used, Genesis. That's all. I'm not trying to. Again, I ain't saying the man is wrong. I'm enjoying the fuck shit. I'm enjoying everybody that he's roasting. But since he came out and said these men are doing this because that's their job, his job now is a social media person. That's what he's doing. Every time he calls them Becky with the good hair, and he talks about Steven Jackson, and he pick a new person like Roy Hibbert and call him a hoe, that is what he accused everybody else of doing.
Here's a question I want to ask you, Genesis. Do you believe, generally speaking, that there is a point where black men are being taken down publicly? Because just in the past 2 weeks, you have what, Joe Budden. Yes, Charlemagne's being taken down as well too. Kwame Brown was spoken negatively about. You have T.I. There's a few others as well too. So you have black men in prominent positions who are pretty much being dragged across the coals, and it's being done publicly. Do you agree with that?
I don't think that they're being taken down. No, I don't agree. I disagree with that. I don't think they're being taken down. There are alleged allegations in regards to all of those men you mentioned, except you said Kwame Brown. There aren't any allegations of him doing anything untoward. But the other three men that you mentioned, there are alleged allegations that these men have done some untoward things. So it's not, I mean, and yes, they're going to have their day in court, but I don't think they're being taken down.
Well,
I mean, and again, that's an inflammatory statement. I don't think they're being taken down.
Well, let's look at it this way. Bill Gates, he's getting a divorce. Bill Gates has a lot of connections with Epstein. Apparently, he was looking to Epstein for advice on marriage. So we all know what that means, but not too many people are talking about that.
What does that mean, sir? I'm one of those people that don't know.
I don't know what that means.
But you know what Epstein?
I don't know what that means.
You know what Epstein is about?
Well, I'm talking about he was asking him for marriage advice, and I don't. What does that mean, sir?
Yeah, that part I don't understand.
Epstein's not married, and Epstein is a guy who's trafficking people. So we all know, if a guy's looking to Epstein for marital advice, we know what that means.
Okay, I got you.
Right. So
I see the picture you're trying to paint.
Exactly, without saying the words, right? But with that being known, why isn't he losing his position? Why does he still have the same platform to promote his vaccines? He's buying up all the land in the U.S. He's still running his foundation. He's not being torn down at all. But all these other guys in the past 2 weeks have been taken down. Well, Epstein's dead.
Yeah, and Bill Gates by the major media platform. So bigger people are talking about or discussing him or whatever. I think it just depends on where you're going to your media. I mean, for your media content. So different types of platforms are talking about Bill Gates, and I don't know. I hadn't heard about this guy until like I checked my inboxes and he bought me in on this. So I guess
but Bill Gates is being investigated.
He's not being investigated.
Well, he's going through a divorce.
The divorce is bringing it out, but he's not being investigated for all of those connections.
Yes, he is. He is being investigated.
Trump was investigated for his ties. A lot of people have been investigated for their ties.
Yeah, during that trial.
Yes, he is being investigated for all of those.
It depends on where they direct the cattle's mind to. You know what I'm saying?
Bill Gates is being investigated. He is.
For the trafficking minors thing?
For all ties.
How did we get on Bill Gates?
So people want to know what exactly his role was. I mean, and you got to think about it.
Okay, I don't know if Bill
exactly what a person's doing if that's not the person who's on trial.
We're off topic, man. Off topic, man.
No, Bill, I think Bill
he's referencing the tearing down of black men thing versus
comparison.
White, yeah, it is on topic, and I think it is relevant.
Tearing the black man down is mostly us helping them tear us down.
Exactly.
You know
But in some cases, it's just accountability. So holding a black man accountable is not the same thing as tearing them down. Just like I was talking about Kevin Samuels. So his degradation of women is the statements, right? No, I'm just saying the reference, understanding how they kind of go hand in hand. It's the way you do something. So it's not necessarily the what you do; it's the way you do it that impacts people the way it does.
MoneyBoy, on the Toxic Masculinity show, this is about the third or fourth show that this sissy dude been brought up. You know what I'm saying? This is
He's trending, sir.
That dude say nothing with his fucking chest, man. The dude, nah, man. That shit ain't rocking like that.
Because
Come
he's
on,
country bougie. He country bougie, sir. He's a country
Exactly.
girl.
Ain't nothing masculine about that.
But he trending, man. And I mean that's what we
So,
do.
oh no.
But she's on your side. She's on your side with she's on your side though with saying that Kevin Samuels isn't good. She's agreeing. The doctor agrees with you. Genesis,
Right, what you mean?
again,
I'm not saying that he's good or bad. I'm saying that
when you say
approach is sometimes abrasive, and so his message is sometimes received as it is. And I think accountability is that sometimes he degrades Black women because Black women are the ones who are calling into his show, and he considers to be delusional, right? And so I've seen a lot of episodes where he's like, "Stupid bitch," and hang up in the woman's face, get her off the line. That's still, some of the things that he's saying to those women are definitely degraders. So if you're telling a person that your opinion of them, it's like me going out and saying to a person in the walkway, "Hey, you're ugly," and they think that they look, that they're a 10, and me having an argument with them that you're ugly because I think you're ugly. Right? The world see you as ugly because I think you're ugly. Kevin Samuels does that some of the times. And the thing is, when the women don't agree with him, he gets toxic. So when people don't agree with you, just because you feel a certain way about me doesn't mean I have to accept.
Well, here's the thing. The reason why he's going off like that,
because they don't.
The reason why
acknowledge their thing.
The reason why Kevin Samuels.
Well, hold on. Let me ask her a question. Let me ask her a question
go ahead,
before
doctor.
you go, Rush.
I don't want to interrupt you, doctor. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question, doctor. Do you think that Kevin Samuels' message is needed?
Yeah, I do.
Yep.
Okay, now go ahead, Rush. What were you about to say?
I would have to respectfully disagree with that. Yeah, man.
With the what? The degrading of women? Or his message is necessary? Yo, you there, Rush? Man, so do you think Kevin Samuels' message?
She's making it seem like Kevin Samuels is just straight up. Yeah,
well,
that's not the case.
She said his message is necessary.
If aesthetically you don't meet the bar to fish and hook up.
He's cutting in and out.
What's wrong with your phone tonight, man?
Hello? Trey.
We could hear you. You dropping in and out.
Here's the thing though. The reason why, all right, if a female gonna call up in the show, right, demanding like she deserves a high value male, right, but aesthetically she don't meet the part. You can hear me? But aesthetically she don't meet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave and come right back in.
Doctor, you're gonna have to follow the peer pressure on him on this one. He's not degrading women. You just gotta go with the herd mentality on this one. We all agree.
No, it's 100% okay for you guys to feel like he doesn't degrade women.
You gotta join the team.
I believe in calling a spade a spade. So I think that based off of my observations, he's definitely a person who degrades women some of the time.
So why do they keep calling in?
Yeah. So that's my question, and I think that on my podcast when we talked about it.
Can you psychoanalyze that part?
Yeah, we did. So that's what I focused on. My thing is not Kevin Samuels. So it's not him. It's the behaviors in the women that cause that seeds that insecurity. So when I say that his message is necessary, I do feel like it's necessary to have somebody voicing that you're unrealistic about what it is that you're seeking to attain based on your behaviors or based on your life patterns or lifestyle choices and things like that. Because personally, I feel like if a woman is dating, if she's trying to position herself to be with a man who is husband material and she has a history of having a bunch of baby daddies and a bunch of kids by different people and she's never been married, I think that that's sometimes a very unrealistic thing if she hasn't come to the realization that, okay, there are some things that need to be rectified in my thinking patterns, in my behaviors, things like that. Because you got lots of women that think that they can be out here and be very promiscuous and have sex with whoever they want to have sex with, but still want the high earning male who's going to take care of them and 7 kids by 7 different baby daddies that are causing drama at their doorstep every single, step of the way.
Yeah,
so I don't know. I feel like it's needed. I'm not saying he's not a necessity, just saying that sometimes he can be a bit abrasive.
But do you realize that if women actually spoke to other women and held them accountable, there would be no need for him. There'll be no need for him to exploit.
Yes, it would.
Yeah, we do that, and there would still be a So let me explain something.
Why do you think I'm here?
I don't want to be off topic for too long, but here's the thing: there are a lot of women who are raised without a father, and so I think that Kevin Samuels brings an authentic male perspective into the lives of many women that have a lot of insecurities that are rooted by toxic femininity. And that's the reason I feel like he's a necessity, because the reality is if they've never had a father in their life, they can't see what it looks like either way. If a man is a good man, because they've not had that modeling behavior oftentimes in the family system with their mother to teach them what it is they should be molding themselves to be. And sometimes that's why they get, off kilter. And so I think that he's a necessity because it's coming from a male and not from a female. So they've been getting it from women all the time, but they don't respect the views of a woman.
But hold on, a man can't teach a woman how to be a woman. That's a woman's job.
So,
but the problem is that there's not enough women who are wives that could actually teach them what to do.
So I say yes and no. So a man models the behavior that a woman should be responding to
indirectly through his interactions with his wife,
with
or mom,
their mother, right?
Or mother.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. So having a male perspective in that modeling behavior dance teaches a woman how to authentically step into her role with a man who is of that standard. So when they don't have that, oftentimes they need that outside perspective of another male who is an older male who has experience, even if his life experience haven't yielded the best of experiences, his trauma, his pain. I think that there is still authenticity, and I think there is still validity in some of his message. So for me, the delivery, I don't get, sidebarred or sidetracked by the delivery, because I can definitely be very direct and abrasive at times myself. I think the quality of Kevin Samuels' message is sometimes discarded because of the way that he behaves after the fact.
I think your perspective towards his message is a bit distorted because you are being a bit biased and you are a female, so obviously you're not going to agree to his madness of his method.
She agrees with it.
Hold on. The way he came at the women is the same way he came at the men when he first started off. So I don't see why there's an issue if he's giving everybody constructive criticism. You know what I mean?
I said that earlier though. So you're just repeating what I already stated. So my thing is, if Kevin Samuels is degrading men or women, it's still degrading whenever you force your opinion onto someone else. And it's the truth about those people. That's you degrading them if it's the lesser than component. So my thing is, you can tell a person
it's constructive criticism.
Constructive criticism would look like, I understand that you figure that you're a 9 or a 10, but based on the way that I calculate, I would value you as a 7 or 8 or a 4 or 5 or whatever it is, and it's based off of this. So it's understanding why.
Here's the thing. The reason why he uses that terminology is because majority of the women that's calling in, they are coming off with a arrogant energy.
Yep.
Their perspective in life they think they deserve a man. Hold on. They think they deserve the top 20%, which is ridiculous. He has to be 6 foot tall. He has to make $100 grand a year. I mean, he just got to be this amazing character. But aesthetically, they don't meet the qualification to bag that kind of high value male. So therefore, he has to be.
Don't be distracted by the graphics, sir. No, he froze up.
You cutting up?
Yeah, but see, I'm not. My thing is, I don't necessarily disagree with what he's saying, but I do disagree.
What's the word? Witty. Yeah. So, you know what I mean?
Your signal's going in and out. But what I'm saying is I do disagree with the aesthetics component, because I feel like the value of a woman is not in her aesthetics. The value of a man is not in his aesthetics. And so you can secure a date or a lifestyle with a person and still not secure a marriage with a person. If you're emotionally mature enough to get married, you'll realize that you're not marrying a woman because of how she looks. Eventually, she's going to get old. Everything's going to sag. Same thing about man. He's going to get old. Everything's going to sag. His ass is going to go bald. These are realities that you got to look at. So aesthetically, sir, you're not going to be attractive in 50 years.
Dr. Jefferson.
Yeah.
Is your significant other ugly right now? Fuck 50 years from now. Is he ugly now?
Well, I picked
if not.
Let me tell you something. No. This is what I'm going to say about that, okay? And I've never been a person that selected based off of looks. I haven't. So it just happened to be.
We need to see your dude right now.
Oh, my God.
Because if he don't look like Flavor Flav, we don't believe what you talking.
Well, I'm just saying I never select off of look. So when I select based off of the heart of the man. And I'm looking also at your father and your grandfather and things like that, because I want to know that you're going to age well. Because for me, I know that I'm going to be a petty old lady. And so I want to make sure that the man that I'm looking at and growing old with is attractive. Then I don't care about I care about the value of the quantity of your heart as we grow together, to know that we're going to be together for a length of time.
So right now he got to be fine. So aesthetics matter.
I mean, I'm not young, so.
So he got to be fine.
I mean, now he's, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Or if he old, does he have to look like Ronald Isley?
He definitely better than Ronald Isley. He's nice. Let's put it like that. He's nice. But I didn't pick him because of that.
Yes, you did.
Because
that was the first thing that attracted you to him was his looks.
It isn't. I got to be honest. It's not, because we didn't see each other first. So the thing that attracted me to him is his vernacular, his approach, his conversation. Because for me,
y'all meeting? Facebook Messenger?
No, God, this is stop.
Well, you said no, because you said we didn't see each other at first. So I need to know how this worked.
But so dating is very different now than it was a while ago. And you know what I'm saying? Everybody didn't have social media and all that good stuff. I think that's a good tool for dating, though, because I feel like, when you're dating out here in these streets, you need to be able to observe what it is.
That's what's killing the culture, social media.
So you met him on MySpace?
Yes and no.
Black Planet.
No, I didn't. No, I'm not doing that.
Apparently his text game was strong if you didn't see him first.
He can write very well.
So if you would have saw him and he looked like Flavor Flav, would y'all still be dating?
I would have said, boy, you are physically unfortunate, but your letters touched me in such a way that I'm willing to give you a chance.
Oh,
I don't know.
You lying.
No,
you lying. You lying.
Can you come and
man, I'm old school. I gotta say it, man. Flavor Flav.
I'm brutally honest. I am. If Kel was ugly when we met, right? Face to face, can you honestly say that I would have told him that he was ugly? Mm-hmm. Exactly. So I'm not It's not, but it's not about the looks. I had already been bought in because at the end of the day,
hold on. Does he make more money than you?
I don't know too many people who make more money than me, but he's close. Yeah, I mean he makes good money though.
So was that a factor then for you?
It's never been a factor. So I went from being a medical doctor to a psychotherapist, and no, I don't have to. That's never been an issue for me. For me, what was important is finding somebody that I connect with and can grow with and has the same value system about life.
So we saw what Vivica Fox did.
Is he a high value man?
Based on what? Kevin Samuels?
Yes, based off Kevin Samuels. Yeah. Would you have dated him if he looked like Flavor Flav and made $40,000 a year?
Probably. If everything else was the same?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're going to sit here and keep on lying.
No, I'm serious.
Okay. You're going to stick to your guns, huh? Aesthetics don't matter.
Let me tell you something. I looked at some of the people that I dated back when I was in college and in grad. Let me tell you something. It was some very unfortunate people, unfortunate faces. And I'm like, oh my God, we actually went on 2 whole dates. Because it's hard for me to map out time. Always has been. Because I'm into everything else and I'm a reader and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I would have gone on a date. I'm not going to say we would have been, married and together 20, 30, 40 years later, though. I'm not going to say that. But I would have definitely entertained him.
Aesthetics are definitely a big factor for me.
Right now, probably. But when you
forever.
What if you get a woman, for example, Cardi B, right? I love her expressiveness and all of that stuff, right? And she's done so much work on herself. But let's say that what she has. I value the fact that she's one of those people who came from humble beginnings. And when she did start to make money, a thing for her that was really important for her to invest in was her teeth, was her physique, because she knew that that's where her money was going to come from. You understand? So she could reach her goal.
And she's boxy by DNA too.
I'm just saying.
But those are all superficial.
Yeah. So you're right. Those are all superficial. So aesthetics are equally all superficial. So when you go out there and you get a woman that looks a certain way,
if you go out, is not superficial.
Okay, so if you go out and
get superficial, but it's not a bad thing.
Exactly. I'm not saying
it's superficial as fuck because that's all you're judging. That's all you're basing your relationship with that person on. But it's not a bad thing.
Exactly. And
that's all you see at first.
Relationship and so what I'm talking about is when you get into a relationship with them and you got into this relationship and you married them because they look good for you, right? Or look good on your arm. And then you're having issues in your marriage because they don't respect you. And they think that they can talk to you any kind of way because a man naturally requires respect in his relationship with his woman. So when she doesn't respect you, when she's cussing you out every day, right? And emasculating you every day.
I mean,
right?
That's like a no-brainer though. Like, obviously, a male that's seeking for an attractive female, he has to be submissive and willing to follow his program. You know what I mean?
No, that's not what Kevin Samuels' platform states. His platform states that you must be a certain height, weight, dress size.
That's also according to him and quote unquote high value men like yourself.
Yeah, that's
the thing. Here's the thing. Hold on, let me interject with this real quick. Like, the aesthetics bait the man in, right? He comes in, he smashed, right? After he smashed, the female loses her leverage. So now she has to display some type of other value other than her physical features. So if she's like submissive and willing to cook and clean and all that, that's gonna keep that high value. That's gonna keep that high value male around. But if she just looks good, she might end up getting pushed in the friend zone, becoming a booty call, or just a pump and dump. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I agree. I totally agree. And I said that on a Zoom call the other day with the dating professional site thing, and they didn't agree. The women said that they could go have sex with whoever they want to because men do it all the time, and they can still get their high
This
value.
is where the delusion comes in.
Right.
Well,
So
all
I
these females,
agree with all of that, but I don't agree with having sex with some
This is
random.
where the delusion comes in. Just because that high value male smashes you doesn't mean he'll marry you. He just, you know what I mean?
Or that you're high value as well.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I mean, looking good is just one of the keys to bag that high value male. You also gotta put in something on the table for him to stick around. Other than that, you just be the just a number of the many chicks that he smashes. You know what I mean?
No. Kevin Samuels makes it very clear. He had this woman on talking about her position, what she earns, and these kinds of things, and he was like, "None of that shit matters. You gotta be."
It really doesn't, though. Men don't care about that.
Let me interject real quick. Here's the thing. A lot of women
we don't
that
I
call them the 90 octanes. The female that makes the six figures and doing her thing and support herself, sustain her life, her lifestyle to a certain degree with her compensation. The chick, the female that makes that 100,000 a year and out, that kills her SMV, and I'm gonna tell you why. It kills her SMV because when you in these fields like becoming a doctor, lawyer, all of that, like you have to have some type of male attribute to accomplish some certain goals. So therefore, when you linking up with a male, right? You got some male attributes on you. So therefore, that's gonna scare off that high value male. Now, if you're dealing with a dude that makes less than you, the nigga probably a beta. He's not on the same level.
I disagree with that.
Let me finish.
Hold on.
I gotta stop you, Rush. I gotta stop you because I've always dated women that made more money than me, but I didn't care that they made more money than me.
Right.
That didn't. So that and nobody would confuse me for a beta male.
Right. And so, but the thing is, a man who is not worried about how much money a woman makes. He's still the leader of the household. And he doesn't have to fight for that position.
Put it like this, right? Well, let me explain it a different way. A female that makes, a female that's the breadwinner.
What do you mean by the breadwinner?
Like if you making more money than your counterpart. Like,
so just because you're making more money than your counterpart doesn't mean.
Let me get to the point. Let me get to the point real quick.
Yeah.
If your girl make more money than you and she's paying all the bills, like that's not going to happen forever because women are not built to lead a man. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
a woman. Hold on, let me finish. A woman is not willing to share her resources with a dude that makes less than her. That's not happening. You know what I mean? You can ask any woman in the world. Majority of them, they're gonna ask you the man to provide for them. You know what I mean?
So you're assuming that just because the woman makes more money than the man, that she is moving into position of providing for the household. Is that what you're saying?
Financially, that would be the case.
Yeah.
Not all the time. Not all the time.
If she makes more?
Of course not. So just because you make more money than your male counterpart in a relationship doesn't mean that you're the person that is the provider in the household or the leader.
No. So financially.
No. So financially, what you do with your money, with your husband, is up to you and your relationship with your husband. But his money, if he is a true alpha male and he's leading the household, he's taking care of the household with his finances. His finances.
No. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. there's on Vlad TV, Vlad did an interview with Vivica Fox.
Right.
Vivica Fox was married to some guy that was an artist,
Yeah.
supposed to sign with Death Row, 6ix9ine, I think was his name.
Mhm.
She said that she divorced him because she was tired of paying for everything. She made more than him, even though he's 6'9" and whatever the case may be. She still wanted to be taken care of, right? So at the end of the day, I don't see Vivica Fox looking at somebody who makes $40,000 a year and is going to live the $40,000 lifestyle and let the man become the financial leader of the household. She's going to want someone to be in the position that she is to provide the lifestyle that she wants, that she could get for her own money or above her own lifestyle, right? So this is why it ended in divorce.
No, I get what you mean by that, and
Right.
definitely I can see how that ended in divorce.
Part of my presence. This
Yep.
is why I say what the more money the female makes, it's
It doesn't matter.
Her SMV is gonna decline. It's
Yeah.
gonna decline because she doesn't. One, she's not built to lead a male. Two, she's unwilling to share her resources to a man that makes less than her. Man, it's not happening.
Y'all niggas ain't got no game. I don't know. I don't agree with that.
And Rush, you're right, but I don't think it's her SMV that declines. It's the amount of dating partners available to her is reduced because she can only date people who make more than her, and that's a small percentage. So she has nothing to choose from.
So
Right.
if you really think that women select partners solely on how much money that they make in
Not solely.
marriages,
Not solely.
then you're highly mistaken. In successful marriages, it's not about the person who makes the most money. And also a man who is a provider naturally and a woman who knows what it is that she's looking for as far as her lifestyle habits and that kind of stuff. They're going to match with one another when the congruence presents. And
Hold on. I want to be clear with something. When it comes to a proper relationship,
Mhm.
the finances are shared. The leadership is the man's responsibility as far as how the money is spent and how it takes care of the two people in the house. But keep in mind that was back then. There's a lot of old school marriages where the woman might make more and the man makes less, but there's still respect there for the man. But the problem is today's type of woman, the modern woman, is not looking for that. They feel that they're settling if they hook up with a man who makes less than them because they always see a man to have the ability to make more. So if they're not finding a man that makes more, it's almost like there's something wrong with that particular person and they're settling, right? So it's the mentality that's different.
I don't think so, but I can see how you would think that.
No, I mean, see. The thing with you're focusing on an anomaly, which is not the majority. You know what I mean?
Not
Majority
really.
of women want to be taken care of by
all the time. I mean, and I've done relationship coaching and therapy and counseling for women and men. So it's not my personal views are not the same in the therapeutic. It's about finding people's resources and activating them so that they can find their own answers within themselves. So essentially, what a person desires innately is what drives their connections with other people. It's not about those things you look at on the surface. Yeah, that stuff looks like it's important, but when you get to the real nooks and crannies of building a relationship, and after that 3-year hiatus of honeymooning in a marriage, and you see that in Beyonce and Jay-Z. When people are distressed in relationships, somebody steps out and they cheat because the real issue is about communicating what your non-negotiables and your expectations are to your partner, and that sometimes goes without being done, and that's what happened with Vivica. So you have to be realistic, and I get people that are not accustomed to money would have money on their mind because survival is a basic and instinctual need, right? So those women would have that on their mind because they're thinking, okay, that now I position myself in this space, right? And I work really hard to get to this space. I want to make sure that I date somebody that does not take advantage of what I've done, right, for me. And it's not without merit. I think that we have to give that validation in its own right because a lot of men of today's society do not want to step into the role of leadership when it comes to providing for the household. And he looks at things much like you guys said. If she's making X amount of money, she's paying for XYZ. So a man who's in his position of the leader, he's going to pay for XYZ in the household, and he's going to make sure that her money is their investments. And so that they can build generational wealth for their kids, for whoever it is they're going to leave it to in their family, so they can travel, whatever they want to do, right? But in the grand scheme of things, what really matters is, I think people need to embody financial understanding and literacy, and then figure out how it applies to the relationships that they're trying to build, because not everybody is looking for the same thing. And that's how I feel about Kevin Samuels in his field, because he always telling these women that, you know, they're not valuable because they're fat or whatever. And there's a lot of men out here. You better start traveling outside of your states that value heavy women. They'll have you taking weight gaining pills.
Well, he talking about American women. But Russ, question.
They love American women.
I'm saying Kevin Samuels is talking about these Americanized black women. He talking to a specific demographic.
Yeah, I'm saying these guys love American women. They may not be in America per se. Jamaican men, African men, they have a true affection to a heavier set woman. They have a true attraction, and a lot of them, that's what they're looking for.
Rush, I got a question, Rush. You've never dated a woman that made more than you.
I mean, I smashed plenty of women that made more.
That is not what the fuck I asked you. You acted like a black woman, sir. Can you answer the question directly?
Directly.
Have you ever dated a woman that made?
You should come listen.
Yeah, I have, but like, you know what I mean, it's
were there issues?
It's dated.
Were there issues?
No, there weren't no issues, man. You know, I did my thing, you know. And
so you have to say, well, when I experienced that with dating a woman that made more than me, I didn't have these problems that Kevin Samuels talks about. It also has to do with that. It has a lot to do with how secure the man is.
Money Trade, do you know? Okay, let me ask you a question. What is the percentage of men in the United States that's actually getting laid?
I don't fucking know.
Is there a percentage?
20%. Well, I'm in that number. Thank you, white dude.
Hold on.
That question.
Where do you get that from?
Apparently, he thinks that's an important thing because you led off with, I smashed a lot of women. So I'm just going to say that, and I yield my time.
No, but I mean, I don't know. I'm in that 20%.
Where's that stat from?
He started with what?
You'll repeat that stat.
He smashed a lot of women.
Bringing that logic to this show. I already know I know where that logic is coming from. We're not bringing that to this show.
Mad Middleton, let me ask you a question. Have you ever dated a woman that made more than you?
Yeah.
Was there any issues with her making more money with you? Pardon my presence. What about yourself?
Not like talking about.
I mean, shit. Most of us, that's all we do until we get married. We date, and in order to get married, you gotta date.
It's never been an issue, but you know why that is? Because usually, who do they expect to pay for things?
The man.
Yeah.
I should be 50-50. I don't know what's wrong with you niggas.
So, because she's making
money now, she gotta buy everything for me. No, but the expectation is that the man pays.
But I'm assuming all of us.
It's like y'all put these things out here.
If I would have gone on a date with Dr. LQ, I'm not gonna be like, yo, you gotta pay half. I'm gonna cover the tab. You know what I mean?
Y'all know Stedman still pay for some of the meals when he go out with Oprah. Come on now.
There you go. So then the focus is not on what she makes. It's really about what we make, because that's our concern, right?
But Kevin Samuels makes it seem like that like men are going to be intimidated. Those guys would be the ones that I consider beta males if they're intimidated by a woman that makes more money than them.
No, it doesn't matter. To me, all that matters is that I know she could take care of herself.
If the woman is your arm piece and the
Hold up.
eye candy, why not want a powerful woman on your side that's beautiful as well?
Yeah.
Because
All
when you
of it is
marry
bad
her,
in
the
Melville
ball
if you allow
game
somebody
changes,
to
man.
train your thinking.
Nah, Judge, you got to say that when they get married, your pimping don't change when y'all get married, sir. It stay the same.
Nah,
What the
son, not
fuck,
me.
That's how
bruh?
people get divorced. If
You
if you don't,
you don't have that swag. You ain't got none of your mama's cooking, sir. I'm just saying, like, I guess it take a certain type of nigga to be able to handle a woman that make that like that shouldn't even come into play. You handling your business if she's not belittling you for what you make, that should never be an issue how much she makes.
Mm-hmm.
Now if she little dogging you and treating you like a boy, then you got a point, but that still got everything to do with you allowing that shit.
hold on. Can you go back to that stat, the Rush? Can you repeat that stat that you said?
Oh
He
my
made
God!
that shit
Stop!
up.
You don't want to hear about
let's
that
not break
stat.
the
Okay,
topic, man.
nobody
Let's get
cares
on
about
something
how many
else,
men are
man.
getting laid.
Rush
No, but
made
it,
I'm
that
putting you
shit
on the
up.
hot seat right now, but let's talk about something else, man.
He made that shit
Like,
up.
hold
okay,
on. I heard you say 20%. Are you sure about that?
so I have a question
Yo,
because my
the
my friend
average,
was
yo,
about
the
to ask
average
a question
dude,
too.
the average. Oh, yo, hell nah, man. Yo, get me off the spotlight, man. Come on, man.
You and not until you admit you made that stat up, sir.
Yo, listen, man. Come on, man. Yo, get me off this, man.
Hold on. Only 20% of us?
Damn, that is a low
Yo,
number.
listen, man. This not yo.
Yeah,
Just
Yeah, it's
cause.
somebody
crazy.
had that
Yo,
question.
money,
Somebody had that
money,
question
boy,
over
Trey.
here. They're wondering
Just
about that
cause you
stat.
able,
Is
just
that
cause you're
20%
able.
of the United States or the world?
Let me get to my point, man. Just cause you and part of my presence have the ability to swindle your way into a
I
woman's
don't
drawers,
swindle, sir.
It's not
not
even that.
everybody has that capability of doing that. You know what I mean?
When
The
you say
average male,
swindle, things like T.I. and Charlemagne the God come to mind, sir. I don't want to
you know
be
what I
put
mean?
in that number.
The average male is not getting ass like that, man. You know what I mean? It's just
20% is
not
low,
happening
man.
for the dude.
Well, where
It's a
are all
lot.
these babies coming from in our
Exactly.
community?
From the sperm bank.
Nah, they sleeping with the same
Apparently
girl.
from the sperm bank. I'm
They
told
sleeping with
him.
the same.
The average male ain't getting none. That's why he real proud
Yo,
of
man,
the fact that he
let's
getting
go to
lots
another
of.
topic, man. Let's change the subject, man. That got me on the hot seat right now.
Yo,
And I got an 18-year-old son, and I got 3 more behind him, and they.
So maybe you were just getting laid once a year because you were in that 20%. On any given day, I'm with him. Only 20% of men are being laid.
that
I
must
must
be
be
a
a
stat from
Hebrew
2020
I don't know.
where everyone's locked down.
I don't know. You know, I gotta. Look. I yield my time because I don't know. I don't have a penis, so that's not. That's rough. Hope you guys' hands are working.
Pandemic stats.
Yeah.
Man. Damn it, Rush. I got to pray for these 80% of these niggas that ain't getting none tonight.
You know what? Wait, I just figured out. So the topic of your show was toxic masculinity, right? So
That's the brand.
Men,
That's my brand.
Oh, okay. But you know, the issues, right? That is toxic masculinity that Kwame came, isn't that his name? Kwame came with, right. And so essentially he might have that energy because he's not getting laid. So maybe he's a part of the 80%.
That man has been Kwame Brown for the past 20 years. He been fucking.
Yeah, that's slander right there.
That's one thing he's done consistently since he became a number 1 draft pick.
I just said that only 20% of men are getting over 20% of men are famous. So just because he's Kwame Brown or whatever he is doesn't mean that he's in the 20% getting laid.
I'm gonna plug Dante Jones again. Don't nobody know who he is, but I got ass off his reputation and his name.
See all them children running
NBA.
around in his video.
One thing I'm saying now, groupies do not care if you a bust or not. They fuck the number 1 nigga on the team with the number 15 nigga on the team. They don't care.
That's rough.
It's the truth. It's where these basketball wives come from. Just think about it. Who on Basketball Wives was a fucking superstar? Like, what nigga they was dating was just that nigga in basketball? Ain't no, it ain't one other than Shaq.
Oh wait, so
Come on,
Basketball
Kenny
Wives
Anderson.
with girlfriends too?
Yeah.
Because I haven't seen it. I don't watch reality TV.
The girlfriends.
It's a mixture. Some of it was a couple of ex-wives when it started off, but then since then it's just been girlfriend. You said Kenny Anderson? Come on now.
Kenny Anderson was a star. You don't think so?
Man, with the,
Oh, so you're from the South, man. If you're up north, New Jersey, New York, Kenny Anderson was the man. You for real?
average at best. Average at best.
Hold on, Kenny Anderson was an all-star multiple years.
Average at best. Zach Randolph was an all-star one time. Mark Gasol was an all-star one time.
Hold on, but Zach Randolph is a good player. What do you mean? He has respect from the rest of his colleagues.
But I'm saying niggas like him ain't on Basketball Wives. That's my point. What nigga that was just that nigga in the NBA was on Basketball Wives? You ain't seen one.
Well, you said Shaq. I mean, a lot of people said he fell off towards.
But she was an ex when that show started. But yeah, he was the only one.
But she created the show. She's like the executive producer, so it's a little bit different.
And Shaq was never on the show. They get these like Doug Christie and shit. These niggas be on there. Doug Christie, average at best. Well, no, ain't no Sean Kemp, ain't no Clyde Drexler.
Because he's gonna get this average at best. He's gonna.
It applies for men.
He literally is. He's gonna make a lot of money off of you.
That's his shit. That's what he went viral off of. I'm just applying it to basketball skills now.
God, no, I can't.
Looks like we've come to a standstill, everyone. You should get ready to shout y'all's channel out and good stuff. I know Russ doesn't have one. Pardon my presence. Do the honors.
Yes, part of my presence. You could catch me on YouTube. I just put out a video about black men being targeted and why that should alarm you. Check it out. Other than that, I'm rocking. Thank you for having me.
All right. Mad Militant.
Well, you can find me on YouTube at Mr. Mad Militant. Catch a new hot topic that's coming out. You know, I don't know what my last video was. It was a couple of days ago. Too much going on. But check me out on Mr. Mad Militant and shit. And,
so you was high like Matt Barnes and you don't remember what went on?
Man, I got so much going on. Man. Probably hear my thing going on, man. But, you know.
Russ, you got any last words? Since I know you ain't got social media. You got any last words?
Yeah, man. Just seek wisdom and practice humility. You heard?
Praise white Jesus.
Hey man, don't be spreading that propaganda out there, man. Come on, man. We all know Christ is a black man.
For real.
What? Dr. Jefferson, let everyone know where to find you.
You guys can find me anywhere on the internet, DocLQJ or hashtag DocLQJ on YouTube. It's Life Discussions with Dr. Jefferson. So, and I have podcasts pretty much on every platform. If you're a listener, like, you know, through the speaker, not video, it's Life Discussions with Dr. Jefferson. And I also have a separate one called Love and Intimacy.
So
you need to have us on as a guest.
We're definitely going to make sure you have, since you tried to throw your co-host under the bus and say she was the one interested.
She was interested in that piece. Like she you know, she wanted to know what your behaviors look like.
Invite her when we do our interview this week, and she can pry. I'm an open book.
Yeah, she was like, "You all toxic."
That is my brand, and I embrace it. I see Joy Chit Chat ran. She doing me like Rory and Maul out here in these YouTube streets. But y'all know what I always say: like, share, subscribe, and comment, or you ain't black. Thanks everyone for coming up. Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'll see y'all later.
MoneyBoy. Trade. MoneyBoy. Trade.
Private jet flights overseas, dime pieces coming by the lead. Piano witch playing with the keys. Waterfront chilling in Belize. Greenbacks, rack, blue cheese. Murder ain't came up in the street. Good dope, no price cheap. Pop pills, too high geek. Private jet flights overseas, dime pieces coming by the lead. Piano witch playing with the keys. Waterfront chilling in Belize. Greenbacks, rack, blue cheese. Murder ain't came up in the street. Good dope, no price cheap. Pop pills, too high geek. Counting hundreds with my amigos. Blue water, frozen sub-zero. Hit a lick, flip it twice, break bread with my people. Who knock and look out the people? Clutching my desert eagle. Cock, aim, squeeze, trigger, empty clip and reload. Pints, pills, 2 kilo. Bitches coming in trio. Shaking all ass, beat the pot like Migos. Last second shot and one. Free throws, no Master P, but I'm looking for the free code. Pints, pills, 2 kilos. Bitches coming in trio. Shaking all ass, beat the pot like Migos. Last second shot and one. Free throws, no Master P, but I'm looking for the free code. Private jet flights overseas, dime pieces coming by the lead. Piano witch playing with the keys. Waterfront chilling in Belize. Greenbacks, rack, blue cheese. Murder ain't came up in the street. Good dope, no price cheap. Pop pills, too high geek. Private jet flights overseas, dime pieces coming by the three. Piano witch playing with the keys. Waterfront chilling in Belize. Greenbacks, rack, blue cheese. Murder ain't came up in the street. Good dope, no price cheap. Pop pills, too high geek. Too high geek. Top floor, nosebleed seat. 4A, 4AV. Push star, got no key. MoneyBoy, Lou got said. Take a picture, paparazzi. Quaaludes, Bill Cosby. Rape a hoe, no, not me. Hashtag MB3. Primetime NBC. On lane, I do me. Dial on, I spit heat. Private jet flights overseas. Dime pieces coming by the lead. Piano witch playing with the keys. Waterfront chilling in Belize. Greenbacks, rack, blue cheese. Murder ain't came up in the street. Good dope, no price cheap. Pop pills, too high geek. Private jet flights overseas. Dime pieces coming by the three. Piano witch playing with the keys. Waterfront chilling in Belize. Greenbacks, rack, blue cheese. Murder ain't came up in the street. Good dope, no price cheap. Pop pills, too high geek.